Do you ever find yourself in a situation where you nest many if statements to check for different things? Now, this is kinda extreme. You likely don't, because I can't imagine a situation where I would be needing 4 nested ifs. But maybe it's because I know the trick of today's video. So first of all, let me explain why. Oh, but why not just do this? Well, you likely would if you could, right? But say there's an if check that then does something, and then there's an if check, and so on. So imagine there's some lines of code between them that only execute if the condition is true, and then there's some if statement. There's a way to rewrite this to be quite a bit nicer. So we had 4 conditions, only after all of which are true do we execute our code. Meaning, if any of those is not true, then we don't need to execute our code. So, if condition 1 is false, then we just return. Remember return from v1? How it's stopped hotkeys and how there was an auto execute section. I talked all about this in the previous video. And now there's no return, quote unquote, in v2. You don't need those. Well, they still very much exist in the place that there should be, in functions. When you return something out of a function, not only do you get some value out of the function, but you also stop its execution. If this condition isn't true, nothing else in this function will get executed. This function will stop, and your code will continue. Usually, it's a good idea to return something at least, like return false, for example. It could be useful, and it's a good practice. So you should do that. But not necessarily. It could just return to basically mean, oh, don't continue if this is not true. And then there's another if not condition 2, then also return. And then, if both of those are true, we continue on to running our code. Okay, but maybe if some of these is false, we want to have an error message. That's really easy to do, because you just put that code before the return, the error message. Boom. And now, if the condition 1 is false, any code before the return executes, and then the function returns. Basically, doesn't go on longer. And now, well, first of all, let's give this method a name. This is named a guard clause. It's when you have a condition, reverse what you expect of it to false. So we need condition 1 to be true, so we make it if not condition 1. And then you wrap its code into the brackets and put a return after. And here you go. This is really nice because it improves readability. It's nicer to work with, It's more clear than having to go through many nested if, else's, and so on. They are so annoying to get. I'm gonna show you some examples on where I use it. Let's go to my file search. Pretty sure it has something. Here it is. So we have an input box, we get its value. If I pressed cancel on that input box, or I didn't put in anything, we return. So nothing happens after. Then another one. We select a folder that I want to search inside of. If there is no folder, holy shit, message box. I don't remember the last time I used it. Well, this function doesn't have any dependencies, and I remember taking pride in that. A good thing, I guess, but I hate message boxes. Off the topic though. So basically displays an error message and returns. Does nothing. Let's see if there's any more returns here. I don't think, oh, here it is. What is it? If you didn't right click on the row with the mouse, don't continue running the function. Truthfully, I don't remember what this does. Let's go ahead. But I'm sure it makes sense to have. I'm just not gonna get into it. Let's see what else I have. Here it is. I have a timer. Let's pop it to have an example in about a minute. Well, not about, in exactly a minute. There is a timer that checks every half a second whether it's time by calling this function. If tick count, one of the more precise methods to measure time in AHK, is less than the end time, which I get here by some quick maths. If it's less than the end time, then no, it's not the time, so we return. But if it's more than the end time, then it is time, and we do everything else that you're gonna see in, I think, 30 seconds. It would be amazing if I was right about that, if I caught the timing. And here it is again, my snake. I shouldn't have said that. My snake is kind of sus. There's an imposter among us. Okay, yeah. Is slithering, meaning if the snake is already on the screen. Let me show you that. We press start, and there is a cute snake on the screen. I try to press Ctrl-Shift-S again. Boom. It's actually stopping here, because when we enable the snake, it is now slithering. And if it is, return. Don't do all the other things that make the snake, because there is one already. Press escape, it's now gone. Actually, no, I liked it. Fuck, I'm a genius. I don't even remember that it remembered the position. What? That is so cool. That is just incredibly cool. Off the point. Oh, and here's me using what I showed you in the video before the last video, I think. Truth be told, I'm recording the third video in a row. Having a blast, and I hope you're having a blast too. What this function does, I have a hotkey that pastes numbers. What I'm doing right now, this hotkey calls counter without a parameter. So it just sends it and returns. So do nothing else after. But if I do counter 666 and go here, it updated the number. Okay, so with these examples of guard clauses, you might have a better idea of where to use them and why they're valuable. So I hope you learned something new today, and goodbye.